welcome to this first podcast from PRACBEE team, and we are going to discuss today last 5 weeks strategy to crack JEE mains. और सबसे पहले we will try and start our discussion from where everybody is putting 5 weeks strategy, 3 weeks strategy. I think it will go till 1 day strategy. So how much effective are this strategy? What do you think, Puran sir?
Yeah, so it definitely worked for me when I was preparing for JEE, and I prepared at Chandigarh. And usually in our time, we usually have separate coachings, so we don't have that culture like having all the three subjects under one roof. And in the last mile journey, I remember we in my coaching they used to conduct one test every week, and usually they book schools.
For conducting
for conducting the test. So we have to go there and then write the paper. It has its own challenges, and logistically it is very difficult for the coaching to have a large number of tests, right? Because they have to book the school. So those constraints were there. So having just one test in a week is, I don't think that is sufficient for JEE preparation. So what I've decided when I was preparing, that I will write 2 tests on my own.
On a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis. 2 tests, right? But again, right, you are on your desk, in front of you, you have all the formulas, and then you are surrounded by the books, right? Right. So suppose if you're not able to you're not able to remember a formula while writing the exam, then you tend to look at the formula, and that does not portray the true picture, right? What is your preparation like? So, but these days, now it is online paper. In our time, it was pen paper test, right? So now student can write multiple tests, as many number of tests they can right? So they can write all a large number of tests. And now there are softwares where they can proctor the test, right? Which can detect the eye movements, whether they have written the test properly or not. So, and that will give a true picture, right? So I think last mile journey or last week's strategy definitely work.
Okay. Do you think that this kind of podcast will help students?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, definitely. I was discussing with one of the students who told me, sir, this will go till last day. And he told me that कि भाई पढ़ाई कर लो अब बस बहुत हो गया strategy खेलते खेलते.
Actually, having a plan and acting on it are 2 different things, right?
Yeah, definitely, because this is very a crucial time for their career also, right? And if they don't plan very well, if they don't strategize very well, then past year hard work will go in vain. Definitely. They will not get the desired outcome, right? So the point is that from my point of view, this time is very, very important. They have to follow a particular kind of strategy. They have to follow a strategy. Otherwise, nothing will happen, right? Everything will go in vain. And even from my experience, every student is different, every child is different. So for them, strategy is also different.
Okay.
Right? They cannot follow a peer strategy to get the desired outcome. So if they follow a strategy, if they are honest with themselves, then they can follow a particular kind of strategy and then they can get the desired outcome. That is my perspective. But yes, definitely it will work. 3-week strategy, 4-week strategy, 5-week strategy. That is very crucial. Very, very important.
Okay.
And Shival, we have seen that with our students. Like those students who have followed the strategy and they remain dedicated with their preparation at the last mile journey. We have seen they are able to get into their best colleges and now pursuing the top branches.
Last 1 month, the whole game will change.
Yeah.
Because the student will think last 40 days, what will I do?
Yes.
But the reality is that in 40 days, a lot of things can be done. And it is more about I give this analogy to students that you have a boat and you want to cross a river. So it is not that you want the best boat in the world to cross the river.
Right.
You want a workable boat to cross the river. That would mean your boat can have some holes, it is fine, but the more you can fill in the last 40 days will largely help, basically. So your idea should be at this point of time, like you said also, write a lot of mock tests. Now what is an optimum number will probably depend from person to person, like Nivedita ma'am said. Like what I used to do is basically I used to write at least 2 papers on daily. I had collected papers from all the, because I was in Kota, I collected it from all the coaching. I used to write paper only because I bored हो गया था. वही पढ़ के basically what I am getting out of it, I was clueless. So I started writing test papers. Every day I used to write 1 to 2. I do not recommend that to students. I say that 2 is fine for a weekly basis. But it depends, like what you told, it depends.
But discipline is important. You are talking about a discipline, more about discipline. If the child is disciplined, your student is disciplined, then they can do wonders, right? Yeah.
The more important word that you used earlier is important, honesty and sincerity, I guess, because we can
Yeah,
definitely have
honesty.
modern things like proctoring tests, etc. But even there you can find ways to cheat. Like I had experiences with few students last year whose result I can't explain. If I can't explain your result as an expert, largely it means basically somewhere something is not correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can't probably be courageous enough to say that on your face, but the reality is that somebody somewhere the sincerity was missing in writing the
Yeah.
test or the Okay, moving ahead, Puran sir, what do you think should be a physics strategy for the last 5 weeks? A winning
Okay,
physics
right.
strategy.
Okay, right. So as far as like if you look at the pattern, recently they have like changed the difficulty level, right? Now it is quite easy as compared to like 5 years back. It used to have some challenging questions.
And can you give me like an idea that what was the increasing or decreasing graph in terms of difficulty in the last 5 years?
So I would say if you consider like 2020 paper, so I would say around like 20% questions will be tough, right? Tough category. But these like I couldn't find a single question which is tough
This
in
year,
the
last
recent
year,
years. Yes.
24.
So it is
Last
from
year.
easy to moderate,
Hmm.
right? It is from easy to moderate. And I think the best strategy would be, so you have to first prioritize the topics, which topic have higher weightage. For example, if I talk about in physics, electrostatics, gravitation, around 3 questions can be asked from this chapter. And then we have current, electricity, capacitors, 2 to 3 questions. Then modern physics, semiconductors, around 3 to 4 questions. Kathe-IITD and thermodynamics, heat, around 2 to 3 questions. Right, and optics, 2 to 3 questions. So it itself like contains 60% of the marks basically, right? So you can expect around 15 questions out of these chapters. So if the student focus on these areas, like he'll be able to attempt around 15 questions in exam.
Which is a huge number.
Which is a huge
because
number, yes.
And the questions are not difficult. If you prepare it well, you might end up getting them right also.
Right.
And there are like 7 to 8 topics that you talked about. So let us say that if you have 5 weeks, if I am doing like 1 to 2 topics on a weekly basis, I might be able to still cover 15 questions.
Right.
Right.
Would like to add more data to this. So like one thing, like they should look at the PYQs and try to learn them as a problem type.
Okay.
That we are already doing on our channel, right?
Yes.
So we are categorizing each chapter into problem type. So if you categorize chapter into problem type and try to master each problem type, then you'll tend to attempt the same question easily in exam.
Great. And because the paper is easy, there is not much variation also.
Yes. And suppose if you are kind of a student, you are not able to like cover the entire syllabus, what you can do, at least have a surface level knowledge as far as physics is concerned.
Okay.
Because usually I have seen they are very easy questions, right, which are coming from some chapters. So if you're leaving those chapters, anyway, like you're losing marks unnecessarily.
Like formula based questions.
Very like yes.
Nivedita, what is your last 5 week strategy for a student?
If I talk about chemistry itself, then they have to revise inorganic, organic, and physical on the daily basis. It means they have to divide their time, right? If they are giving, if they have suppose 2 hours, right? So they have to divide the time equally. They have to solve organic chemistry questions on the daily basis. That will
First, can
give
you
them
tell
enough
me
clarity
if I have
about
5 weeks, and if I want to like have a sense of priority that what to do first, what to do later on. So what should I do
the
first?
point is that if we talk about chemistry paper, chemistry questions, so questions are coming from every chapter basically. So every chapter in chemistry is important. More or less, it is important, right?
Same as physics, right?
Yeah, same as physics. So point is that yes, we have certain chapters which are which have more weightage in comparison to other chapters. Like we have thermodynamics, right? We have electrochemistry, mole concept, redox. So they are the part of every chapter basically. But point is that idea is that there is too much difficulty in organic chemistry question when students attempt that kind of question. So my advice is that they have to solve organic chemistry daily. They have to they have to take one chapter and just try to solve PYQs and all so that they can get enough clarity about what type of questions can come in the exam, what type of questions will be there in the exam. So it will give them confidence, it will boost their confidence definitely. And then side by side, what they can do, they can take one physical chemistry chapter which is of high weightage, like I said, thermodynamics they can take, right? But it will hardly take, but in order to revise thermodynamics completely, it will hardly take 2 days.
But
If they go very slow.
I think you
If
have
they
made a
go
2
very
or 3
slow.
hours video basically that can do it even
Yeah,
faster.
basically that will do, right? Because
Right.
there are so many questions, like Puran sir said, now, like in the physical chemistry, even in the physics, so we have so many questions which are formula based questions. So why to do those kind of questions repeatedly? Because that is formula based. If you know the formula well,
Formula
if
might
you
be
apply the formula
Right.
right in 2 or 3 questions, they can get enough clarity.
Yes.
But organic questions, they are different. For that, they have to learn, they have to memorize, and they need to know how to apply in the questions. So organic to daily, and there are some chapters which are inorganic chemistry. So questions are going to be very easy, but the students are like, oh, ये तो memory based है ना, याद ही नहीं हो पाएगा. So let's forget these chapters.
Fun fact,
right?
when I was
Yeah.
preparing for my JEE exam, I left the inorganic chemistry.
Yeah, definitely. मतलब there are, मतलब students का idea ये है कि चलो
बिल्कुल.
कौन करेगा, inorganic याद ही नहीं हो पाती. But
Okay,
there are so easy
yeah.
chapters. So the point is that कि they don't need to do every chapter daily and all. एक chapter ले लें और उसका reactions लिखें and all. उसका they have to prepare a reaction sheet basically.
Okay.
Reaction sheet, or if they have certain kind of tricks. So
and they have to revise those sheets on a daily basis.
Yeah. Four में मतलब if they revise that twice in a week ना, so they can do maximum number of questions from the inorganic part. And inorganic का क्या time waste नहीं होगा. If they see the question आता होगा तो full marks, 4 marks, नहीं आता होगा तो 4 marks गया. But questions tend to be very easy from the inorganic chemistry. So if they prepare inorganic chemistry very well, so they can get a good percentile.
Right.
So what you're saying is basically prioritize inorganic and organic at this point of time.
Inorganic and organic. Physical generally आता है, बच्चों का interest होता है. There are so many students, right? They know physical chemistry very well. But yes, they have to prioritize organic and inorganic.
ठीक है. What did you do in your chemistry exam, Puran sir?
Very bad.
Very bad.
Even I left inorganic.
Yeah, the students who are good in physics and maths na, so they tend to ignore inorganic chemistry. Even see,
physical
I did
was
not
okay.
prepare for I did not prepare for IIT and all. My goal was very clear. Like I
wanted to do research.
मतलब yeah, not research. मतलब I was
more into sciences.
More into sciences and all, right? So I was want to into with the education industry basically somehow, right? My goal was very clear. Okay. So the point is that when I was studying chemistry na, so even I had interest in physical chemistry, not in organic and inorganic. Inorganic को मैं भी ऐसी सोचती थी, right? कि नहीं बाद में कर लेंगे, ये कर लेंगे, but inorganic chemistry हाँ नहीं होता, but inorganic chemistry it's very very important. It's very important.
See, what happened in my JEE advanced exam was when I went for JEE advanced exam, I left inorganic. 50% of paper I think that year came from inorganic.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very important to do these chapters. Like qualitative analysis. Students don't do these chapters, qualitative analysis and all. But very easy questions, cations and ions and all. So it's just, they have to revise, they have to write down these things. They can do well.
Okay, great. Makes sense. See, if I talk about mathematics, because mathematics was the third part of the question. Mathematics strategy for the last 5 weeks, I guess, it is very simple. You need to understand that if I want to get 99 percentile, all you need is 50 marks. For getting 50 marks, if you divide by 4, approximately how many questions do you require? You require 12 questions, 13 questions. If you can think like that, if I have prepared certain part of the syllabus, 15, 16 questions, and if I do that nicely in the exam, this is one strategy. If I have not done much preparation till this point of time, I will think in terms very quantitatively, 50 marks if I want to get, I will do 16, 17, and this we used with one of the students last year, was able to jump from 90 percentile to 98.9 percentile last year.
Right.
So it is not that this study, this is 100% it will work. For the last 1 month, if your mathematics is not good, do this. Choose a limited number of topics, focus your attention there, and choose the ones that you are comfortable in.
Surely the paper is very easy. If the paper is very easy, then in mathematics.
Mathematics, the trend has been basically, if you start from 2019, it is getting difficult till 2023, 24, it came back to the level of 2022. And now, if you see the trend, it should go down.
Okay, we talk about the very first shift, like Jan 27th.
shift wise variations are there, but I think वो थोड़ा क्या होता है basically when you are attempting the paper and you are getting questions right, their confidence will go up and all of a sudden everything will start, you will start in the paper itself.
Right.
It is psychological also in the paper sometimes, because do you think that if you look into the cutoffs, basically that level of difficulty level was there? It was not.
Right.
The amount of difficulty level that is increasing and the amount of marks that are decreasing are disproportionate in nature.
Yeah.
So my idea is, if you are preparing at this point of time and if you are not very confident in mathematics, choose certain topics, and I will not label them as basically easy, moderate, difficult. The reason is that what is easy for me can be difficult for you. What is difficult for you can be easy for me.
Easy. Yeah.
So I will say that mathematics, since the cutoff 50 marks, if you get 99 percentile. So think in terms that how to get those 16 questions, from where those 16 questions are going to come. I've taken a very detailed session on strategy session on it. On it, we went to the details of it. But the idea is that 16 questions, focus on that and try and get 12 questions or 13 questions right out of it in the exam, and then you're good to go. This should be the strategy at this point of time. And focus more on, basically we are making very good videos on YouTube. And of course, that is a very good source to practice. Focus on 5 years PYQ, because more than that, definitely you should do, but you don't have time to. So that is the most effective thing to do at this point of time. Now,
so according to you, which subject students should attempt first? Like you said, if they solve questions, right? If they know the questions, then the confidence will boost.
My go-to subject, my strategy was, and I have been consistently telling this student, chemistry, physics, mathematics.
Chemistry, physics, and mathematics.
Because chemistry, if you know a question, you should take and move ahead. You can correct me, our chemistry faculty. If you know a question, you can take and move ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't know it, don't attempt it. It will get you negative marks most of the cases. And in physics, basically whatever you know, you can do it in 1 hour. And then you have 1.5 hours for mathematics. If you invest more time in mathematics, chances of you getting more marks using logic, elimination, all of these things works in physics and mathematics. Won't work in chemistry.
Considering the current pattern of physics, right? So it can be, you can finish physics paper in 45 minutes, not more than that.
Maths is difficult.
Same with chemistry. Same with chemistry.
Chemistry has been that manner for a few years. Like, I think students are able to.
Again, it is relative, right? So which subject we have to start first?
Yeah.
My strategy was based on this, that when you're into the paper, you're warming things up, right?
Yes.
So chemistry is a good subject to warm up because less calculations.
If you're able to get 10 questions correct within, say, 15 minutes. 10 minutes.
Your
it increase your confidence.
Right. 40 marks I have got in 30 minutes or something like that. So if you can do that largely, and then physics is like whatever time is there, if you can do whatever you can in that amount of time. It will you will not exceed time. Mathematics, if you take a second, and then it will destroy your time management like anything.
Sometimes mathematics
definitely going to same things.
कभी-कभी lengthy भी बहुत होता है, right? Mathematics.
Mathematics is always lengthy. See, students who are getting 99.9 percentile are able to get 70 marks. A student who is getting 99 percentile is getting 70 marks in physics and chemistry.
Right.
So 1 से लेके 1000 के अंदर, basically 10,000 के अंदर, you can see that huge variation has happened in other subjects. So that differential will always be there. Now, what are the pitfalls? Let us talk about the pitfalls, because this is the last mile journey.
Yeah.
So I think like the very first thing the student has to avoid is the overconfidence at this point of time. Like you're prepared really well for 2 years, right? And you are scoring very good marks in mock test. So that is the thing like you have to avoid at this point of time. You will lose focus and you will practice less if you're overconfident.
Yeah, even they should take proper diet. They should rest well. They should rest well, right? In order to function properly.
Basically, routine. So, like what is a good routine?
Sir, routine. Yeah, it is different for different person. But right now, if I am the student, right? Suppose I am the student, I am preparing for JEE. So I will wake up early, definitely. And it will give me enough time.
For some people, 9 o'clock is early.
No, it's not 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock तो आधे दिन खत्म हो जाता है. It means I say कि like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. जब सब सो रहे हो ना, तो थोड़ा ज्यादा दिमाग भी चलता है. मतलब हम भी ऐसे ही पढ़ते थे एग्जाम्स में. तो 4 to 5 o'clock उठ जाना चाहिए, and then they can go for a walk, right? And then उसके बाद just come back, eat some food या fruits and all, and then they should start studying. मतलब मैं ऐसा ही करती, मैं
मैं भी
पढ़ने
ऐसे करता हूँ।
स्टार्ट हो जाती थी
मैं भी ऐसे ही
ऐसी,
करता हूँ।
मतलब ये
Run
सबका
for it.
रूटीन है. दिस इज आई गेस दिस इज अ क्लासिकल रूटीन, राइट? जो
Technically
हमारे
speaking,
पेरेंट्स
yes.
ने जो हमारे पेरेंट्स ने हमें
सिखाया.
करा, इम्बाइब किया, और हम स्टूडेंट्स को कर रहे हैं,
Hmm.
इवन अपने बच्चों को भी ऐसे ही कर रहे हैं,
Puran
राइट?
sir, what are your views on daily routine?
Right.
That's different.
Yeah.
No, usually I wake up early around
Exactly.
6.
We are all early wakers here, so
हाँ.
probably this would be not be very good for students to hear.
नहीं
Right.
नहीं नहीं सर,
But
मैं
at
तो
least
नहीं हूँ
6
early.
hours 6 hours sleep is necessary for a for
6, हाँ,
students.
yeah,
At least 6.
I will recommend like 1 or 2 hours more towards the end. ठीक है ना?
Seven-
Because क्या होता है,
seven
serotonin, all
hours
your
sleep.
happiness, serotonin, everything in your brain chemicals will only get manufactured if you get a good night's sleep.
And even they should do mind calming activities,
Like what?
right? जैसे like कुछ भी, मतलब थोड़ा meditation and all, तो they
Some
should
light
practice
music
that
and
thing.
stuff.
Light music भी हो सकता है, कुछ भी, because मुझे याद है एक बार when I was doing paper, और मेरा बहुत अच्छा प्रिपरेशन था, बहुत अच्छा. मैंने क्वेश्चन देखा, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऐसा आया जो शायद मैंने नहीं किया था,
Okay.
और मुझे आता था पेपर. अब मैं जब लिख रही हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं लिख पा रही हूँ, नथिंग. तो मैंने क्या किया, कुछ नहीं करा, मैं बस बैठ गई 5 मिनट, और मैंने पानी पिया, थोड़ा 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 ऐसे डीप ब्रीदिंग करी, और फिर मैंने कहा अब लिखती हूँ, और अब मैंने लिखा, और लिटरली अब मुझे सारे आंसर्स आ रहे हैं. मतलब वो इट हैपेंस विद एवरीवन ना. अब हर बच्चा पढ़ के जा रहा है, बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ रहा है, बट उस टाइम एग्जाम में क्या सिचुएशन हो रही है, या क्या है, ट्रैफिक है या कुछ है, एंजाइटी है. So they should do these kind of activities so that at the point of anxiety या जो भी हो रहा है उनको during the exam
Here I would
time,
like to tell you an incident that I faced with one of my students. मेरा एक student था,
हाँ,
and he was doing some kind of a commando training in terms of preparation. So what he used to come is, in summers he used to come in Delhi, in the coaching he used to turn off the fan, assuming that the center I will go to will have no fan.
oh,
He will carry his own paper, sit down in the garmi of Delhi, and then write paper there, mock test there. Then he will go away very calmly. Every day he will used to come and do this activity and come. He was able to get like top 1,000 rank, I guess.
Right.
ठीक है ना? But see, what I am trying to tell you is basically, ultimately for me, and from a pitfall point of view, the most important thing that you are emphasizing is basically how you are able to handle your thoughts.
yeah,
That is important basically. And for doing that, you will have to avoid lot of things. Like I will say that social media. If you have
Definitely.
little bit of free time, go out and talk to people. Go out and take a walk. You know, do not go on social media and basically and then meme bazi and then online games. Don't do that at this point of time. It will just excite you more and tire your brain more. And sleeping early is important according to me. Like 10 o'clock, if you sleep 10:30, let us say 11 also. But take a good 6-7 hours of sleep. It will give you a lot of energy for the next day. Half of the times I have seen that people are not sleeping enough. And it is generating a lot of problems for them. Okay, so I agree basically, and I think basically breathing exercise wali thing, so of course if they are doing it, they should do it. But let us say that if you have not learned till that point of time, do something that calms you down.
yeah.
And one more thing, like they are struggling with is time management at this point of time,
Yes.
because they are juggling 3 balls, right? So they have JEE prep, and then board exams are there, and their practicals are there, right? So they are managing all these 3 things simultaneously. So they have to prioritize like which thing is more important for them.
So what do you think is more important?
Like we should right? So like you have started.
They are not able to figure out, and I have get a lot of questions from students, which is important.
Sir, there are some students now who are not going to school, right? They are in NIOS or something
At this
else,
point
right?
of time, nobody is going to school
Right.
except writing practical.
Yeah, nobody is going to school, and they have enough time. हम सबने पढ़ाई करी है. The point is that if they strategize well, they can get good marks in their board exams. They can get good marks in their pre-boards, and even they can prepare well for JEEs. It's not that tough.
What I am asking is basically what should be the plan for that? Like if you have little bit of planning regarding that, कि कैसे करे वो?
The point is that कि जैसे for board examination है, and if they have some kind of pre-board and all, तो वही बात हो रही है ना, जल्दी उठेंगे तो जल्दी कुछ कर पाएंगे. तो starting का 3 to 4 hours वो सिर्फ अपने starting के 3 to 4 hours वो अपने सिर्फ और सिर्फ स्कूल एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपेयर करने के लिए लगा सकते हैं. And after that they can work on JEE part.
Okay, got it.
And 3 to 4 hour enough है, पूरा साल पढ़ाई करी है ना. और स्टार्टिंग में व्हाट दे कैन डू, अभी राइट नाउ जैसे प्री बोर्ड्स है, अभी हो जाएगा, फर्स्ट वीक में खत्म हो जाएगा, सेकंड वीक तक
Yes.
खत्म हो जाएगा, सो दे कैन टेक 12th क्लास टॉपिक्स, कुछ 12th क्लास के टॉपिक स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं ना, तो सो दैट इनका प्रेशर थोड़ा कम हो जाए,
Got it.
बट 11th भी करना तो पड़ेगा ही.
Basically,
I'm
two
not
things that I
saying
could able to take out of you is basically one, time management on a daily basis is important.
yeah.
You can give some consistent hour daily for board preparation rather than giving a day or two in a sequence, because that will generate lot of pressure for JEE. So do things in a
Yes.
sequential manner and do integrated preparation. That is, take 12 topics first. What you are preparing for JEE, prepare that for board as well. And I will add one more
Yeah.
point from my side. See, if you are preparing for board, the skill set changes from solving objective question to writing subjective questions. So instead of reading things, it would be highly helpful if you can take 5 or 10 years of previous year papers and focus on writing those papers.
Writing.
Right.
Because writing habit most of the students won't have at this point of time.
Hmm.
Puran sir, any other pitfalls that you can see?
I think like most of the kids, they are demotivated at this point of time. No? They have not
Demotivated,
prepared well,
okay.
right? So
Yeah.
and they are not
And even due
seeking
to
any help.
yes,
Okay.
and due to that demotivation, they are not giving mock test.
Right.
That
And
is
then
another pitfall, right?
right.
They are
So
not regular with mock test.
right. So they have to seek help. They have to sit with their mentor or their parents or
Correct.
elders, right? So because they have gone through this path, no? They have done all these things in
Got
their
it.
life.
So this is like a genuine point that Puran sir tried, and is most of the students want to do it alone. You are not alone.
Right.
There are people
Yeah,
around
they
you, your
have to be
faculties are
honest.
there, mentors are there, parents are there. You should talk and seek help wherever required. And this is where I think most of the people will go wrong, is we have our one-on-one program. The whole idea of that one-on-one program is basically, if at this point of time you are getting stuck somewhere, it is okay to take professional help despite you have done a proper 2-year program. Because that 1 or 2 hours of help will help you save a lot of time that otherwise would have gone wasted, and a lot of stress you will come out of that stress. You will get professional help how to prepare a certain topic, and it will make sense.
Right.
And one more thing here that I think basically a lot of students are struggling because of school exams. So new students that come into this cycle, now I started recommending them PRACBEE school that is based on NIUS model. So it is fine, you don't do PRACBEE school, but go for NIUS model.
Right.
Because see, what happens is NIUS exam will happen in apparel. You can write exam flexibly. So all this tension of writing pre-board practicals at the same time when JEE is going to come is generating a lot of stress. You can avoid these things. But now this is probably a lot of students have done, but future students can avoid this. Students can advise other students to do it.
Right.
Okay. Anything else you guys can think of? Any other pitfalls?
Like they're doubting themselves because they prepared really well, but at this point of time they're doubting themselves, right? They will be having negative thoughts. So whether I'll be able to succeed or not.
I think I have a take on this basically, and this is an interesting idea that I came up with few days early. See, idea is that most of the people, I have felt that at this point of time were unable to build their score. The primary reason is not the technique or subject, etc. Everything of that is now available. Like YouTube is getting a very good help. PRACBEE's one-on-one programs are there. There are so many ways to get there now. But somehow fundamentally they do not believe that I deserve this success. So they will not end up taking the right kind of steps. They will not believe that okay, I should invest this much time and energy and money into this course. Because they feel that ab kya hi ho jayega.
Right.
Okay, so all the students were unable to success. I did a very good survey on these students and talked to them and understood, reanalyzed what they were saying. They fundamentally believed inside themselves कि कुछ नहीं होना मेरा. So this is very important for the student to believe that कि मेरा कुछ ना कुछ तो हो ही जाएगा. Like we had students in PRACBEE who had very, very low marks, like when you're writing mock test, barely getting 100 marks. They kept working towards the end, barely were able to improve 20 marks, and still because of home state quota, they were able to get into very good colleges.
Right.
So importance is consistency and belief is very important at this point of time.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So that is, I think, a good point to end this first podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess this was a new experience for all three of us, right?
Yeah, we should have this more often.
I think that students will tell us to shut up or do this more often. So those students who are watching this, and now it is on you to comment on this video and tell us what you want, what kind of podcast you want in future. This is something new we are starting at PRACBEE. So if you really feel like this is something that was interesting for you, you got some insights out of it, and you want something else for us to discuss, just let us know. We'll meet again and discuss those things out. See you until then.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.